Alright, welcome to Newspaper Review, a time we look at national dailies and of course ABS website. See stories trending there. We expect you to call us, but when you call, please try as much as possible to bring down the volume of your television set. If you actually want us to interact with you, you make your opinion known on any issue raised here on our national dailies. Okay, sorry, in the studio we have a guest who is going to help us really look at the stories trending in our national dailies. He is no other person than Barrister Ifechukwu Dan Jacobs. He's a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to the studio, Barrister.
Thank you, Presenter. Viewers, you're welcome to the program.
All right.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right, let's go on with the ABS website first on our lineup. We have the stories. Retreat for Anambra State new Executive Council opens today. Retreat for Anambra State new Executive Council opens today. Anambra government to rehabilitate, beautify 35 slaughterhouses. Anambra government enjoined to sustain demolition of illegal structures to reduce security risk. And finally, Anambra Assembly confirms 19 commissioner nominees sent by Obiano. Barrister, we take two from there.
Well, on this show, retreat, that is what's expected since we have new term for the governor. The new people that work with him, he has to induct them into the system by way of retreat, so that they will learn one or two things about the governor. So it's a welcome development. And on the issue of illegal structure, we know because of greedy developers, everywhere is clustered with buildings and shanties. So there is need to remove all those rubbish to give our environment a healthy look.
All right, let's move to the paper, the Daily Times.
Okay, and I have the Daily Times this morning. The banner headline here says, finally, MPC meets as Senate OK CBN deputy governors, 3 orders. With riders, rejects 1 nominees for unsatisfactory answers to questions. And another rider, Saraki, wants new deputy governor to work with Emefiele. Well, up here I have Osibanjo highlights ERGP contributions to Nigeria's economic growth. We're going to let you into that later. Last Dapchi schoolgirl won't be abandoned, Buhari assures. Reviewed, million people worldwide suffer annually from malaria. And some people using judiciary to gag mass Dogara alleges. Okay, let's say that's all we have from the Daily Times front page. And I would like to find out. Finally, MPC meets as Senate OK CBN deputy governors, 3 others. And from the news yesterday, the one that was dropped is from the southeast. Wow.
Well, they know they have their reasons, but I think it's one of the issues we are talking about, marginalization. I don't know how the other people will scale through, and the one from southeast will drop for that crazy reasons that I could not give good answers to the question put to him. For what reason? Actually, it's their duty to screen. But let fairness be seen in everything they are doing in the issue of governance in this country. For dropping a candidate from Southeast, we are talking about majority appointment of this government. The opportunity to right the wrong, they miss it again. It's very unfortunate.
Okay. And then last Dapchi schoolgirl won't be abandoned, Buhari assures. Why was she abandoned in the
Well, from the stories from Delhi, they said she refused to be converted to Islam. Her sin is so that she held on to her faith. And even the issue of that Dapchi girls, the way they were returned back on the broad daylight, and those captors were allowed to go freely. They came in with vehicles, dropped those girls, and went back freely. Leave a lot of questions in mind of reasonable Nigerians. Who are behind this people? Who are these people? We were told that Boko Haram was defeated. And now, from what we have seen over Dapchi Girls issue, show that Boko Haram is still active and functioning. Who is deceiving who? They should come out and tell the Nigerians the truth about these people called Boko Haram. Who are behind them? Who are the sponsors? Let us ask them.
All right, a lot of questions on the minds of Nigerians. Let's quickly move to the next paper.
Okay, Punch newspaper here reads, the banner headline said, Bill Gates picks holes in FG's economic plan. And up there we have an interesting one. It says, IG suspends withdrawal of police attached to VIPs.
Yeah, that's what we hear.
What is funny about that? Well, another one says, I won't abandon the only Dapchi girl in captivity, says Buhari. Well, I think let's take the three if possible.
I think we've seen the Dapchi girls.
Okay, let's go to IG suspending the withdrawal of police from VIPs.
Well, I know they can't do it to withdraw because they are paying them heavily. Those VIPs, they spend heavily to maintain those police given to them. And IG benefits from giving them to.
But why crying in the first place? I want to withdraw, I want to withdraw.
No, this is just to satisfy the yearning of Nigerians that we don't have enough manpower in terms of security, police, number of police in this country. And you are giving these people more than needed. Then he wanted to please Nigerians, and that's why he considered his own gain.
Oh, well, most certainly we see the IGP disobeying the order of a president. Do you see him obeying the vice president in this order?
Well, you know, in Nigeria here,
judging from the fact that the president asked him to go to Benue and then he moved to Nasarawa, that's what I'm saying. Do you see him obeying the vice president?
Well, provided he did not obey the president, why would he obey the vice? But the only thing that they're supposed to have given him way out, they would have shown him way out by now. He's not supposed to be on that seat by now.
They would have showed him the way out. I think let's look at the other story.
Okay, we need to look at the Bill Gates picks holes in federal government's economic plan. You know, they are planning to really make an inroad into borrowing another money for the economic development of the country.
The presidency told us that the Nigerian economy had picked up, that our foreign reserve is very much high. Borrowing now, what does this entail? It shows that the economy is not healthy as we are meant to believe. And the issue now, the oil revenues, we discovered recently that there is an improvement in price of crude oil in the international market. And there's nothing they are doing now, but they keep on sharing excess crude instead of using those money to invest. I've said it, unless this country is being restructured and we have resource control among the states, this country, this way is being structured now, unless structured, we are not making any headway. We will continue to go around the circle.
But I think Bill Gates was actually picked holes on the economic plan of Nigeria, telling the federal government, why will you invest in the physical infrastructure, neglecting that of the human? And some Nigerians are asking, is there any investment at all?
Even myself, I have not seen any even physical one the Bill Gates is talking about, talk less of not investing in human infrastructure.
And does that really show that Nigerians are really getting the right information the way they should?
It shows that there is a lot of deceit.
All right, let's move on to the next paper. IG.
Okay, the next paper is the Daily Independent. And the screaming headline here said, "My life in God's hands," says held Christian Dapchi girl. My life is in God's hands, says Christian Dapchi girl. And it has so many riders, but there's we have looked at that. Let's quickly look at this one. Obasanjo's coalition registers 3 million members. And you very much know that recently he's spearheading a coalition that is planning to take over from the political parties. Okay, police pension thief John Yusuf jailed 6 years, fined 22.9 billion naira. And down here I have Buhari's economic plan doesn't address Nigeria's needs, still coming from Bill Gates. Let's look at Obasanjo's coalition registered.
Well, Obasanjo, with due respect to him as elder statesman, he has not helped issues in the issue or in the area of politics in this country. He was the person that spearheaded the election of Buhari. Now he's abandoning him. He spearheaded the election of Jonathan. He abandoned him. So how can we believe him in this present coalition? He should maintain a stand, have a clear-cut vision of what he wanted Nigeria to be like, and go for it. Let them, if they are tired of the system of leadership in this country, let them look at the structure of this country and know restructure this country and care that fundamental issue. Because we have seen that the issue of changing one leader to another will not solve the problem of this country. Let us go to another aspect of this country. Restructure it and let's see how it will work.
Okay. You are an advocate of restructuring.
Totally.
All right, and I think we have to look at this story in Daily Independent, where panic as youths burn police station church in Kaduna. You know, recently we had some issues in Anambra State here where youths went on rampage and burnt down police, destroyed so many properties. I don't know what actually is going on. Is it that the youths are not really where they ought to be? You know, that at any little slight of misunderstanding they take to burning down properties.
Just to show you the level of unemployment, because idle hand, the devil's workshop. The youth are unengaged. How do you mean they are gainfully employed? By the time they go to work and come back late in the evening, they won't have time for all these things.
But actually, I don't think what is happening in Kaduna State is based on unemployment.
We know that in Kaduna State they have an issue of religion.
Okay.
Muslim, Christian, they have been fighting against each other, fighting for control of one area or the other in that area. But actually, most of these people that have time to fight for issue of religion because they are not employed too. They have
not
time.
necessarily. The other time, some of the people that were killed in the crisis, I learned about 2 engineers were among them. So it wasn't just unemployment. This is the fight for survival. Because there's an undeclared war going on in Kaduna State.
Definitely, those unemployed go for those that are useful to the society. When they will kill, they will go for the useful ones to punish the other people. Those they are men, the people that they use as their joker. They will kill them as a punishment to them. So I'm not surprised that the engineer lost their life or something of that nature.
Okay. We have the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper, the banner headline where we've treated that, talking about Big Gale faulting the Nigeria's economic growth scheme. But down there we have APC tackles PDP over stance on abduction of Dapchi girls. Another one there says EFCC lacks power to declare anyone wanted without court orders. Judge rules. And we also have well, let's take that one.
Well, that's the issue of EFCC declaring somebody wanted. They don't have that order. They have to follow due process. First, obtain the order of court. Let go see reasons why that person should be declared wanted, and they'll give order. Then, once they obtain the necessary order from court, the action will be legitimate. But most of the time, they take laws into their hands. That the police officer doesn't give them power to adjudicate on issues that is for judiciary to do so. It's very unfortunate that in this country, once you are given an opportunity to do something, you assume you are the boss.
That's something you're missing here, Theophilus.
Yeah,
8 fear dead in Enugu as boss allegedly chased by NSDC officials fell into ditch. 8 fear dead.
Unnecessary.
Maybe 15 naira.
Just because if you investigate it now, you discover that maybe the driver of that bus refused to give them tip, maybe 15 or 100 naira. And they decided to pack him, and he decided to go. And they started to pursue him. Look at the lives lost. Carelessly like that.
Shouldn't be. All right.
Very painful.
Are we done with the...
Well, you have a Tribune there.
All right. I think I'll have to take the Tribune. There are so many stories making the headlines here. Christian Dapchi girl won't be abandoned. That we've already taken that earlier. But we have riders to receive returned girls today. You are inhuman, unpatriotic. On comments, FG tells PDP, you are inhuman, unpatriotic on comments. More reactions, thrill schoolgirls release. Rescue other Chibok girls. Borno government tells Buhari. Then down here, okay, up here we have Buhari's. Okay, we've seen that already. Let's see the one we've not seen before. Refuse. Lagos Assembly summons 3 commissioners, orders. I may write another letter. That's coming from Obasanjo. So let's begin with the riders on the Dapchi schoolgirls.
Well, the issue of these Dapchi schoolgirls, the manner they are returned, I said they leave a lot of questions on our security operatives. They have politicized issue of security in this country. How can that devil group like Boko Haram return Dapchi girls in the daytime and went back safely like that? Nobody arrested them. It's unfortunate. It shows that there's issue of politics in that Dapchi girls. A lot of politics.
Okay, let's look at the one that the OBJ says he may write another letter.
Well, he used to write letters. Well, he can still write another one. Let's see what.
And who knows who is writing this time around? There's something we missed in this. Buhari's economic blueprint doesn't address Nigerians' needs. Coming from Bill Gates, he says something on the rider. He says Nigeria is a dangerous place to give birth.
Jesus God.
I saw this one and I got scared.
It's true because there's no seriousness in the issue of provision of Medicare. We give lip service to everything we do in this country. Actually, the economic plan of this government, Buhari as a man might have good intention. But those behind him, those that are working with him, some of them are interested in their pocket, most of them. And APC is now condemning PDP, but 80% of chieftain of APC, they are from PDP. Those men that could not perform in PDP, how will they perform in APC?
But I think Bigeti was just trying to say that there's no future for any child born in this country.
Look
so what does they expect us to do? To start giving birth outside the country?
Those of them that are opportune do travel out. But unfortunately, those that could not afford it, we leave everything to God.
You can't. What you can't.
They abandon to their fate. The only thing is that Nigerians should rise up and fight for their rights.
All right, Nigeria should rise up and fight for their rights. I think that's the much you can take on paper review for this morning, Friday episode. We so much appreciate you, Barrister Ifechukwu Dan Jacobs, a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, the presenter.
All right.
Viewers, thank you too.
We'll go. All right. Join us at the other side of 8 as we bring you our discussion segment.